Hey there, welcome. What I'm going to be doing in this video and this little series is this is a pie, a Raspberry Pi. Actually, this one is a 4B. Okay, and what I'm going to be doing is turning these into retro gaming machines. Okay, now RetroPie is the most popular format that's generally used on the Raspberry Pi, but hey, yeah, I'm not going to do that. We're not going to do that in this particular video anyway. What we're going to do with this one is we're going to use a piece of software called Batocera. I think Batocera is just easier. If all you want to do is you want to turn on and get gaming, then I think Batocera is much more straightforward. Yeah, there are tweaks. Yeah, there are bells and whistles, but not so many maybe as RetroPie. We will do a future video with RetroPie as well, setting up, showing everything, show how I want to show everything, complete how you do every little bits and pieces. So because very often, you know, there's a lot of videos out there, a lot of videos, but they don't always, you still sometimes struggle for the key bit of information. That, oh, how did they get there? How did they actually make that work? How did that happen? So what I want to try and do is make it as straightforward, keep the technical information down as much as we can on this series, but just turn it into a gaming machine, show how you can load ROMs on and how you can get up and gaming, connect it to your TV and you can get it up and gaming. And we'll try, you know, using different platforms as well. You know, these devices, they cover a lot of different platforms. So 4B I've got here. I'm going to do probably another one at some point in future time with a 5. I can't remember how much memory is in this particular one. I imagine it's probably 4 meg, but I can't remember. We'll find out as we go along. But what I have got here, I'm going to change the case on it. And what I've got here, let's turn it around for you so you can see. We've got a new tower CPU and cooling fan. Reason because when we do the Pi 4, maybe some of the things we're going to try and do is push it a bit hard, and so you know it's good for the processor and some of these chips really to have cooling on them, so they're not getting too hot. So the first thing we're going to do, take it out the old case, and we're going to put it into, and we're going to get it going with this new cooling fan. So let's open up and see first of all what we've got here. Just zoom out a little bit so we can see. Okay, so in the box we have, it's got a screwdriver and everything in here. So we've got the actual fan itself, we've got some screws and pads. Let's just tip all this out, let's just get it all out. Get it all out. Right, there we go. Let's move all that out of the way. So got the fan, we've got a board to connect up here, and we've got a little baseboard for it. So it's not going to be in an enclosed case like I've had here. It's going to be more of an open case, but with a fan on there that will allow heating not just to the main process, but also to the RAM chips and some of the other chips on the board as well. So we're not just putting a little heatsink on the individual processor here, but actually covering some of the other chips as well. So let's go and get this unwrapped and have a little look. Oop, here we go. See how this thing connects to the board here. And we've got in here, we've got some screws and some standoff units and little thermal pads here as well that we'll use to dissipate the heat. So let's have a look and see how we get this together. So first of all, let's get the Pi out of the old case. If I can remember how. Oh, fairly easy by the looks of it. Here we go. We've got an SD card in here already, 32 gig. This one is. We'll just put that safely out of the way. Up over here. And that's it now. The Pi is out of its older case, and we're going to look to set it up on its new one. What we've got to do first of all, let's get the bag open. These things, there we go. Let's just pop them into here, parts into here. So we've got the little thermal pads here, okay, which I believe, let's just reorientate, no, it will orientate the board this way so it's sitting upwards. Let's just zoom in a little bit so we can see here. Okay, so what we've got is we've got a pad that is going to go on here. Be one on there, one on there, oops, one on there, one on there, and there's going to be a couple that go onto one on there. Boop. And we're going to have a smaller one which is going to go, give you some spares in this pack by the looks of it. One on there as well. So that is how they're going to lay out and how they're going to be attached to the pie board. Okay, got the instructions here. Here are the instructions, so just following that. I've put this together before, so the first time for myself. So it gives you a spare of each, which is quite handy. So you've got a spare there of each type. Okay, so we'll just knock them off for the moment because we'll do them in a minute. I think what we'll do first is we're going to put in, let's have a little look. So through the pie board here, we need to get this out. Actually we can't, we've got to put the pads on first of all. So let's see if we can do these. So actually, does that one go, does that one fit better on there? And that one fit better on there, or is that one squarer, would you say? I think that one's a bit square. I don't think it makes a massive amount of difference. Let me just check the sizes here. It might be that I've got two the same size here, that could be the problem. I think that one's going to go on there, and this one is going to go on here. Okay, so just peeling off the little sticky bit here, little sticky bit, and we'll get that one on there. I don't think you have to be terribly accurate with these. I think it matters massively. Then we'll get this one off, and that one can go on there. Boop. Then we've got these two smaller ones. One on there, nice and straight knot, and then see if I can get this tiny little one on the bottom. Could probably do this with tweezers, but I'm going to go for it with the fingers. Try and just engineer it. There we go, that'll do. That'll work out. That works for me. Okay, so there we go. That is the initial heat pads fixed to the chips. Okay, what I'm doing now is peeling off the top parts. That's worked well. That's come off. Just push it down again. Give it a bit more of a push. That one. See, this one's going to do the same. It's also going to come off. Just to make it nice and easy, let's have a go this way. That's it. Got it. Got it. Okay. Okay, I wonder if this one will come up so I can just reposition it slightly. Because it's annoying me, it's not straight. Not that I'm doing much better a job here, but there we go. Bit better. Bit happier with that. Okay, so now, from this perspective, what we're going to do is this is going to go on this way. Okay, so this goes over the whole lot, and let's say this heatsink covers the entire set of chips, so which is really quite useful. And we're going to pop it down, try and get it sort of straight into position as much as I can. This then turns over, and these legs screw into the underneath. It's all relatively straightforward. And get another one in there on the other side just to get it into place. Make sure the holes actually do line up. Just jiggle it a bit. I can just get the holes to line up. Somehow. Let's have a look. There we go. And it goes. Do it just to get a little long pair of long nose snips in it, just to niche, tighten these down. Don't go wild. Just enough, just to niche them up a bit. Oh, this is not working. This one's not going in. Patience is a virtue. Let me just hold it down with my finger a bit. It might be moving a bit as I try to screw it in. Apparently not. There we go. In it goes. And we've just got one more in this corner. I'll screw these up a bit firmer in a minute. So this one into this corner. Cool. Good stuff. So keen not to over tighten it, but keen just to snug it so that the heatsink is just pushed down onto the thermal pads. So we're getting a good good heat transfer there. Oops, slippy. That's it. I think we can call that bit done. Just put the bottom piece on first, so we can just flip that over. Pretty easy. There is a piece here, like this. Just going to go on. Oops. Be careful with it. On here like this with the 4 screws we got, just to attach it to the bottom, just to give it a base, so it's not sitting on directly on the circuit board. 4 screws are in, and that is all, boom, on like that. Okay, so we're going to connect up the power. So we've got the 5-volt rail, which is the second pin in from this side. So we'll just hook that up. We've then got the ground, which is the next pin along. Keep it nice and simple. Ah, that's annoys me. They need to go underneath. So I can make this nice and neat. So the ground goes along. Next pin. Can't see that, let's just get that in there. Turns out the same way around. Boop, like that. And I'm not sure what this one is. The Blue Wire TXD GPIO 14, apparently. Quite sure what that's for. Okay, I think it's for adjusting the get my teeth in. It's fan speed. So that's what that's for. And that goes on the next pin along. So those 3 like that. So that should be correct. There, it's a 5-volt ground. There's coming 1 pin from this side here. So with the 5-volt DC, then we've got the ground, and then we've got the TXD for the fan speed. And that's it. Here it is, 32 gig card. What we're going to need to do is move to the computer next and show how we get Batocera onto this card and installed onto this card. Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to download the Batocera image for the Raspberry Pi, and we're going to just install it on an SD card ready to go into the Pi to boot. So we need to first of all navigate to the website here, where you can download, so batocera.org/download, and this allows you from here, you can download Batocera for all manner of different platforms, but we're interested here in the Raspberry Pi 4B. So we're just going to download here, just take a little second to do it, and then what we're going to do, while we wait for that, is we're going to use this Raspberry Pi imager, which you can get from the Raspberry Pi site. There are lots of different images you can use, but we're just going to use this one. It's a little bit built to really load Raspberry Pi software, but yeah, you can load anything on it, so we're going to use that one. So we'll come back, we'll just finish for that to download, and we'll come back and we'll carry on installing it. Okay, we've now finished downloading. Here it is there, Batocera 2.1 gig all finished. So what we're going to do now is we've got an SD card. I've got an SD card here. Let's just have a look at it on the device. Let's just bring this in and have a look. Ooh, boom, 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 boom. And here it is. We've got a new volume here. Properties. Set up at 32. It's a 32 gig micro SD card. I've got it in a little reader. It's just USB device that's just plugged into the PC. So that's how we're going to get the image on. And now what we're going to do is open the Raspberry Pi imager that we've got just here. So get that going. Right, let's just bring that in so you can see it. Okay, so we're going to, in this one, in this particular case, we're doing a Raspberry Pi 4. So select that one and we just click next. Right, operating system. We're not using any of the Raspberry Pi. What you can do here is you can go ahead and you can download the actual Raspberry Pi images if you were doing that, but we're going to use a custom. Okay, and we're going to automatically opens up a window, and I happen to be on the downloads where I was, and I'm going to select the Batocera image and select open. Okay, then click next. Select the storage, which in this case is the card that I've already got here. So I've only got one option. It's pretty much, we excluding system drives. It says, well, pretty much I know where you're putting it. So next. Okay, and now we're going to write. This is going to take a little while. You're about to erase, so it just says, yep, I understand. I know anything that's on the card is going to be gone when I've done this. It's just making sure you know that. So off we go, cleaning the disk and starting. So this will take a few minutes. So we'll let it go on its way and then we'll check back when it's done. Right, we've finished writing, but we're just doing a verify now. Don't worry if during the writing it goes past 100%. It's a bit bizarre because nothing should go past 100% in my judgment, but you know, particularly when you're writing to disks. But it did. I wouldn't worry about it. Just bear with it, and it will carry on then to the verify bit. I'm interested to see if that goes past 100% as well, but we'll skip this for the moment. I'm not going to skip it. I'm going to allow it to do it because micro SD cards are notoriously fragile, and I'd really like to make sure that the image is on there in the way that it should be before we move on. So we'll just let this verify and then come back from there. So the verify is finished. I'm glad to say I only went to 100%, which makes much more sense to me, a lot more sense to me. And then you're presented with the final screen, just ask if you want to write another or finished. Also opens, in my case, opened up the disk, so we can just see here what the boot configuration is here on the Batocera drive and the SD card that we've just done. So I'm just going to click finish here because we've done. So now that's it. So this card is all ready to put into the Pi and boot into Batocera, which is what we'll be doing for the initial in the next video. So hope you've enjoyed this. It's the first of many, certainly in the Batocera and many other series that I plan to do. So if you've liked it, please click the like button. If you'd like to subscribe for further videos, go ahead, and hopefully I shall catch up with you soon.